Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Town of Penfield for the Penfield Town Board meeting here on June 19th. I hope everybody's enjoying this beautiful night out. We don't get a whole lot of these, so hopefully we can get some more moving into the future. With that, I'd like to go ahead and open up the Town Board meeting this morning. We've got some special guests. We've got Scout Troop 1920 that will lead us with the Pledge of Allegiance. Ladies?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Excuse me. Thank you. Town Clerk, roll call, please.
Cole.
Here.
The Fountain is absent. Metzler. Here. Moore.
Here.
Quinn.
Here.
Thank you. We'll move to the next item on the agenda, communications. Amy?
Just a reminder, primary election day will be held next Tuesday, June 25th, from noon until 9 p.m. To vote in this primary election, you must be currently registered in the Working Families or Independence parties only. Voters should report to their designated polling facilities to cast their ballot. Only 2 polling sites will be open for this election for the town of Penfield. They are the Penfield Town Hall and the Browncroft Community Church. You can confirm with which your polling site you'll be voting at by going to www.monroecounty.gov and clicking on Check Voter Information. For any additional information, please contact me at 340-8629 or email clerk@penfield.org. That's all I have.
Thank you.
I have 2 announcements this evening. To guarantee safe passage for emergency vehicles during the town's Independence Day celebration, parking restrictions will be enforced. No parking signs will be posted on Friday, June 28th, and removed after the event. The Monroe County Sheriff's Department will be monitoring compliance of parking. Tickets will be issued and cars will be towed. A complete list of parking restrictions is available at www.penfield.org under Quick Links. Please note that restricted traffic patterns will also be going into effect on June 29th in and around Route 441 during the annual parade and park activities. Also, the American Red Cross will be holding a blood drive at the Penfield Community Center, 1985 Baird Road on Friday, June 28th from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. To schedule a donation appointment to help save a life during an emergency, please contact 1-800-RED-CROSS or visit www.redcrossblood.org. Walk-ins are also welcome. That's all I have for this evening.
Thank you very much. 2 quick announcements. Town offices will be closed on Thursday, July 4th and Friday, July 5th in observance of the 4th of July holiday. The library will be closed on Saturday, June 29th and Thursday, July 4th, and will reopen to normal business hours on Friday, July 5th. Also, the town of Penfield will be hosting its Independence Day celebration on Saturday, June 29th. The annual parade will kick off the celebration at 10 a.m., led by this year's parade marshal's Honor Flight of Rochester. The parade will travel from the Penfield High School to the Community Center via 5 Mile Line Road, Route 441, and Baird Road. Channel 13's Don Alhart will MC the parade from the Penfield Fire Hall in the historic Four Corners District. In the evening, musical entertainment will take place within the Harris Whalen Park beginning at 6 p.m. Allegro and Northside Johnny will lead the night up, or will light the night up, to a famous fireworks show at 10 p.m. Vendors and activities will be available within the park for adults and children. Be sure to come enjoy the nation's celebration here in Penfield at Harris Whalen Park on Saturday, June 29th. Should be a great time as always. Thank you.
Definitely. The only announcement I have is my next community chat. I have a monthly community chat. Will be on Tuesday, July 16th from 5:30 to 7 in the new book area in the library.
Great.
That's it.
Mr. Horwitz?
Nothing further tonight.
All right, thank you. Okay, public participation. Here in the town of Penfield, we have 2 opportunities for the public to participate in the town board meeting at the beginning of the meeting and then at the conclusion of the meeting. Is there anybody in the audience or online that would like to participate in public participation? None?
Sure, like, just want to bring it in.
Sure. Okay, come on ahead. We've got Troop 1920 coming forward. Would Councilman Rob Quinn like to give an introduction?
Sure, thank you. Just swing around there. So good evening, everyone. It's a special evening here. This is actually a meeting. It's a court of honor for Troop 1920, and it's also their first foray into the citizenship in the community merit badge. So what I'd like to do is invite the Scoutmaster, Eleonora Macbeth, to come up. We would like to present the girls with their first rank in advancement in the Scout program.
So my name is Eleonora Macbeth, and we are the new troop in Penfield, and we are a girls' troop, which is great. We have gone on 2 campouts. Have to say they've done a fantastic job. They are prepared, they are learning, and they are eager. They've done some knots. They've learned how to handle a knife. We spent a box of matches to get our first fire lit, and that's all good and dandy. So, ladies, when I call you, please come up. You are to receive your scout rank. You will also get a cyber chip. There's also a parent pin that you will put on your parents at a later date as your choice, because we don't do scouting alone, and without parents, we are not successful. So, Nisha Karsh. Very good. Okay. Nice job. Okay, do that and that. Nice job, Nisha. All right, you can go sit down. Okay, May Quinn. Oh, you have her scout badge, right?
I do.
Okay, so May, you get a special scout badge. You get your dad's, which is pretty cool, right? So you're embarking on the same trip that he did when he was a kid. So nice job. Go sit down. All right, Sasha Harrison. There we go. That's your parent pin. And Grace Macbeth. I know her. All right, there's that. Grace. Evie Tucker. Nice job. Good job. And Amelia Neenan. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So I just want to, again, thank Eleonora for embarking on this adventure with me. I'm the committee chair for Troop 1920, and so have been able to spend quality time with these girls over the last 2.5 months since the beginning of April when we started. And as Eleonora mentioned, a couple of campouts, meetings once a week, and it's amazing to see how well they've grown and come together. They're not all the same age, they're not all from the same school, but they really did hit it off right away. I also want to mention there's a 7th member of the troop who unfortunately could not attend this evening, Addison Larwood, and she's continuing to work on her badge. And lastly, I do want to thank Penfield Rotary, and Tara Dumont is here tonight, but they are our sponsor organization. Certainly could not have started this adventure for the families and the girls without their support. So I want to thank Marie Sinti, Rob Perkins, Mary Ann Beatty, and the rest of Penfield Rotary for sort of their blessing and allowing us to form and sort of the experience for the girls. So again, thank you very much, and I know that there are some questions coming in public participation, so I'm going to yield the rest of the time here.
Great. Thank you. I think as a part of your efforts for advancement, you are going to come up to the podium and ask some questions of the town board. So who would like to lead that effort? All right. I think we got a volunteer.
Wait.
I don't know. So, what Scout Eagle projects would you like to see happen in the town of Penfield?
That's a great question. I'm going to ask the former, or the Eagle Scout, what was your Eagle Scout project? And
The town is always eager to get scouts to help with projects, whether it's in the parks or recreation. Most of the time, it can be through Chris Bilo at the Town Recreation Department. He's our director. And certainly reaching out to him to get good ideas, reaching out to the supervisor, Tony LaFountain, or any town board member to get ideas. But typically, some of the projects are helping rebuild a trail. Sometimes the trails can get worn down and need some extra maintenance to them. Building a nice bench along the trail, or a couple benches, are always useful for walkers and hikers if they get tired. I know some troops in the past have helped repair a bridge or a walkway across a stream or in some muddy areas, some boggy areas. And so little projects like that are always beneficial to the town, and it's beneficial to the community as a whole. And so those are the type of Eagle Scout projects that I would recommend if there is a particular scout that's looking to do something here in the town of Penfield. And we are always open to ideas and suggestions from the scout troop or the scout themselves. So thank you for that question. Next.
Why doesn't Penfield have their own police department?
Good question. Can you take that one?
Go ahead.
You probably have seen Monroe County Sheriff's cars around. We are patrolled by the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. There has not been a push to have a Penfield Police Agency, number one, because our Sheriff's Office does a great job. Their zone is, their station is right near the border of Penfield, and at any given time, we have at least 3 patrol cars patrolling Penfield. Another big reason is cost. If you look at the budgets for towns and villages that have their own police departments, it's a significant part of their budget, and it's all tax dollars from that town or village that have to all together support the police agency. So there have been towns that have looked to get rid of their police agencies and go to the sheriff's office, because the sheriffs will back up those police agencies as well. So if you have a call in the village of Webster, the Webster police will go there, and if they need backup, the sheriffs report there anyways. So we have found that the sheriff's office is very responsive to us, and we then share the costs throughout the county for that sheriff's department.
So, Shadow Pines is near my house. I was just wondering, what have been the previous steps and what are the future steps to getting where it's going at the moment?
I'll be happy to answer that question. Just recently, this board launched or initiated a resident committee, the Shadow Pines Land Use Committee, of about 12 residents here in the town of Penfield, to take a look at that property and to make recommendations for future uses of that. I serve as a liaison to the Shadow Pines Committee, and the committee probably had maybe 6 to 8 meetings, had kind of a public information meeting to get input from members of the public here in Penfield, residents here in Penfield, and put together a report that they submitted to the town board for our review. And so I think some of the uses moving forward is going to kind of be in that passive recreation type use. You've got about 212 acres, if you want to call it, on the front 9 or the back 9, as most people who are familiar with the former golf course would kind of refer to it as. There's trails in there right now. And so we're going to take a hard look at those recommendations and at some point probably do a master plan for that property and get some design and some engineering done on what we want to see happen to that. But the recommendations from the resident-led Shadow Pines Land Use Committee was more passive recreation. When I say that, I'm talking about trails, hiking trails, walking trails, even some running trails, some mountain biking trails in certain areas of it, but then other potential uses like maybe a shelter, another shelter, or potentially another lodge on the property, the potential for some athletic fields, not to take up the entire parcel or the entire acreage, but a certain portion of it. The athletic teams, whether it's lacrosse, soccer, field hockey, so forth, both men and women expressed a desire and a need for more athletic fields. And so that front nine, which is pretty flat, provides a pretty good foundation for those type of activities. And just a whole bunch of other non-intrusive and non-development type uses of that property. Certainly, there is going to be no residential development on that property. The town does own the land per the residents' referendum vote, which passed about 80% to 20%. And so we have no desire to put any massive residential development on that property. And so that's kind of what the plans are moving forward, and we're going to start tackling those issues moving into the summer, into the fall, and throughout 2019 into 2020.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
For Shadow Pines, is there anything our scout troop can help with?
I think right now, I would just kind of stay in touch with the Parks and Recreation Department here in the town. And I certainly see opportunities for all scout troops to get involved in some of the, the activities going on, or some of the, when I say development, I'm not talking about bricks and mortar development, but trail development, areas like that. There are kind of some swampy, wet areas that maybe some kind of maintenance can be done to alleviate those conditions, and just things like that, building the benches that I mentioned earlier. And I think that those are some of the ideas that we can start talking about with scout troops, that they can certainly come and volunteer their time, just as as an organization or for an Eagle Scout project. Either or would be great. We're not quite there yet. We'll get there in the near future, but we certainly know with Councilman Quinn's involvement with your troop that we know we can rely on you to help out when we get to a point to start looking at some projects.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
How long have we been doing the parade and the fireworks for the 4th of July celebration?
That is a fantastic question. Anybody on the board?
The farthest back. I think, I'm not sure, but I think it started at Harris Whalen Park in 1976.
I was
with the
just going to say that.
bicentennial of
Yep,
our
I think
country.
it was, yep. I was just going
Pretty
to say
sure.
that.
That's when I graduated from high school. And I'm pretty sure that was the year it started. Yeah.
Yeah, we believe, we don't have an exact date for you. I think it was right around 1976. And, I'm sure you were alive back then, so I
But
think you
that
might
was,
remember that.
no,
right?
but history. But that was the year the country celebrated the bicentennial of our birth, 1776. And so that was a time that the town wanted to do something special. And they started doing the parade and the fireworks down at Harris Whalen Park.
And I will say, when I was your age, May, the parade started at the high school where it does today, but went all the way down 441 up over the hill, which was higher at the time,
Yep.
and back down in front of Wegmans and into the park. It was a much longer parade, and as you can imagine, with the hill and the heat and the length, decision was made, I don't know, somewhere in the early 2000s, maybe, to...
Were you ever on the board when we walked?
No.
2010, I believe.
Yeah.
So just before I was on the board, they modified the parade route to go to the library.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I like that question. It's history.
All right, any other questions? Yes?
Last one.
Are there any plans to put a bike path on Blossom Road near Ellison Park?
Yeah, that's county.
Yeah. I'm not aware that there are any immediate plans to do that. We're always looking at those type of issues, and the town's pretty active with the County Department of Transportation. I have a great relationship with them. I believe Blossom Road is a county road, so they have the rights to that. But certainly, through the Town Transportation Committee, we discuss biking, walking, running, safety issues with State DOT, State Department of Transportation, County Department of Transportation. That particular area has not come up during course of conversation, but certainly we would be happy to take a look at that moving forward.
I think what a lot of people, I find a lot of people don't realize is that the town of Penfield doesn't own all the roads in the town of Penfield, or the traffic lights, or the stop signs, or the sidewalks. So we sometimes are frustrated because we don't own a road, and that we can't do something without the permission of the county or the state, and that can be difficult to get. You probably know now there's a left arrow, green arrow in the four corners, that you can now turn left going on to 441. That took almost 40 years to get approval for that. So it can be a bit of a challenge to get some traffic changes that we don't control, including bike paths.
We're also, last night I was here for a meeting of the comprehensive plan. So it's a citizens committee that is put together every 10 years, and it reviews sort of the town and sort of looks at future land use. And last night, one of the topics was connectivity and sort of transportation and opportunities to work with county and state departments of transportation as far as maybe multimodal, so bike paths or pedestrian paths along roads. But that's a great question. I can actually kind of relay that back to our town engineer as well, as Andy mentioned, just to see if there has been any discussion, but maybe it's something that the Comprehensive Plan Committee can look at as it moves forward as far as how to sort of maximize, biking and walking access in the town. So, thank you.
Yeah. All right, any other questions from the scouts? All good? All right, well, thank you very much. Those were great questions. We appreciate you taking the time to come here and ask us those. So with that, Councilman Quinn, anything else regarding the scout troop?
No, thank you very much, and glad they're here, and I hope they'll be back other times for other reasons, and certainly engage with the town as far as potential service hours or projects are concerned, and the best of luck to you as you head towards Tenderfoot. So, thank you.
And we look forward to coming to future Court of Honors down the road, so stick with it. All right, anybody else interested in public participation from the audience? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and move on to additions and deletions to the agenda. Amy?
There are none.
None? Okay, thank you. Approval of minutes for the May 15th Town Board meeting.
I move that the minutes of May 15th be approved.
Okay,
I'll second.
okay. Moved by Linda, second by Rob. Can I get a roll call vote on that?
Cole?
Aye.
Metzler?
Aye.
Moore?
Aye.
Quinn?
Aye.
4 ayes.
Thank you. Moving to the next agenda item, petitions. Any petitions filed for the town board? No. Okay. And now we'll move to resolutions by function. We'll start with law and finance.
Authorization for supervisor to sign a license and hold harmless agreement to allow a fence within a storm sewer easement at 18 Summit Crest Drive.
Moved. Second.
Be it resolved that the town board of the town of Penfield authorizes the supervisor to sign a license and hold harmless agreement with Ed and Rebecca Valadares, owners of the property on Summit Crest Drive, to permit a fence to encroach into a storm sewer easement to the town of Penfield located at that location in a form and substance acceptable to the town attorney.
All right, any discussion? No discussion, roll call vote, please.
Cole?
Aye.
Metzler?
Aye.
Moore?
Aye.
Quinn?
Aye.
4 ayes. Authorization to lease land for agricultural purposes.
So moved.
Second.
Whereas the town of Penfield owns property located at 1075 Plank Road and wishes to lease the land for agricultural purposes. Whereas it is in the best interest of the town of Penfield to enter the lease, now therefore be it resolved that the town board leases to B&N Farms a parcel of land located at 1075 Plank Road for a period of 5 years for agricultural purposes, subject to an agreement to be approved by the town attorney. This resolution is adopted subject to a permissive referendum, and the town clerk is hereby directed to post and publish a notice in the manner prescribed by law.
Great, any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Cole.
Aye.
Metzler.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Quinn.
Aye.
4 ayes. Setting a public hearing to consider adoption of an update to the town's design and construction specifications.
So moved. Second. Whereas the Town Board of the Town of Penfield wishes to consider adopting a proposed update to the town's design and construction specifications, and whereas the Town of Penfield Engineering Department has prepared a draft of the proposed changes for consideration, and whereas the Penfield Town Board is best suited to act as lead agency within the meaning of the State Environmental Quality Review Act, and thus does hereby designate itself as lead agency. Whereas the subject application is determined to be a Type 2 action pursuant to the State Environmental Quality Review Act. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board shall hold a public hearing at the Penfield Town Hall on July 17, 2019, at 7 p.m. to hear all persons interested on the question of adopting a proposed update to the town's design and construction specifications. And be it further resolved that the town clerk is directed to publish and post a notice of the public hearing on the official signboard of the town in the manner prescribed by law. The first publication to be not less than 5 days and not more than 30 days before the date set for the public hearing.
Thank you. Any discussion? Okay, setting the public hearing for, looks like it's July 17th. Roll call vote, please.
Cole.
Aye.
Metzler.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Quinn.
Aye.
4 ayes. Authorization to auction surplus cable TV and audio-video equipment.
So moved.
Second.
Whereas the Cable Television Coordinator has identified the attached list of equipment as surplus and available for public auction, and whereas the Town Supervisor and the Cable Television Coordinator are granted the authority to amend the attached list prior to final designation as surplus, now therefore be it resolved that the list of equipment is declared surplus, and that the Cable Television Coordinator is authorized to enter into an agreement with Roy Teitzworth to auction the equipment. In the resolution, there is a couple pages full of different types of audio-visual equipment and cable television equipment. And for those watching here tonight, it is not unusual for departments within the town to auction some of their stuff after they no longer can use it anymore, they upgrade, and it's a way for the town to get some revenue by auctioning equipment such as audiovisual equipment or highway equipment. So we do that pretty much a couple times a year, we auction off equipment.
Great, thank you. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Cole.
Aye.
Metzler.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Quinn.
Aye.
4 ayes. Authorization to advertise for 2019 Town Hall sanitary sewer project bids.
So moved.
Second.
Whereas the Penfield Engineering Department is authorized to advertise in the manner prescribed by law, seeking sealed proposals for the installation of sanitary sewers and structures in relation to Town of Penfield Town Hall. And whereas the Town Board has allocated funds in the 2019 General Fund for installation of the Town Hall sanitary sewer project. Now therefore be it resolved that the town engineer is authorized to advertise in the manner prescribed by law for sealed proposals for sanitary sewer installation. Be it further resolved that installation methods and materials covered by the sealed proposals shall be in accordance with the plans and specifications which have been prepared by the Town of Penfield Engineering Department and are to be advertised on June 27, 2019. The bids shall be received at the office of the town clerk until 10 a.m. Friday, July 19, 2019, at which point they are to be opened and publicly read.
Thank you. Any further discussion?
It's hard to believe this building is still on a septic.
Yeah. All right, Amy, roll call vote, please.
Cole.
Aye.
Metzler.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Quinn.
Aye.
4 ayes. Advertising for bids for the Department of Public Works Harris Whalen Park Playground equipment purchase and installation.
Moved.
Second.
Be it resolved that the Director of Public Works is authorized to advertise in the manner prescribed by law for sealed proposals to furnish the Town of Penfield Department of Public Works with the following: Harris Whalen Park Playground equipment, purchase and installation. Be it further resolved that the Harris Whalen Park Playground equipment covered by such proposal shall be in accordance with specifications prepared by the Director of Public Works. Sealed proposals are to be received in the office of the Town Clerk until July 12, 2019 at 11 a.m. and there and then to be opened and read publicly by the Town Clerk. Funds for this project are contained in the 2019 budget.
All right, looks like the town's doing some work at Harris Whalen Park in the near future. Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Cole.
Aye.
Metzler.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Quinn.
Aye.
4 ayes. Advertising for bids for the Rothfuss Park Box Athletic Field improvements.
So moved.
Second.
Be it resolved that the Director of Public Works is authorized to advertise in the manner prescribed by law for sealed proposals to furnish the Town of Penfield Department of Public Works with the following: site work and installation of equipment for a box athletic field at Rothfuss Park. Be it further resolved that the Rothfuss Park Box Athletic Field covered by the proposals shall be in accordance with specifications prepared by the Director of Public Works. Sealed proposals are to be received in the office of the Town Clerk until July 19, 2019, at 11 a.m., and there and then to be opened and read publicly by the Town Clerk. The Town of Penfield received grant funding for a portion of this project through New York State Senator Rich Funke. Additional funds for this project will be appropriated from the town's Recreation Trust Special Revenue Fund as an amendment to the 2019 budget.
Great, thank you. Certainly, this item is something that's supported by the youth lacrosse organizations. I'd like to thank Senator Rich Funke for his support in this initiative, and certainly the town board for the additional funding to get this constructed. Any other discussion? Okay, roll call vote, please.
Cole.
Aye.
Metzler.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Quinn.
Aye.
4 ayes. Authorization for supervisor to sign Penfield Community Television contract.
So moved.
Second.
The town board hereby authorizes the town supervisor to sign the following contract for a videographer service. This is with Jason Darnider. Be it resolved that the fee is $17 for each consecutive hour as determined by the cable coordinator and his staff.
Okay, any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Cole.
Aye.
Metzler.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Quinn.
Aye.
4 ayes.
Great, thank you. All right, moving on in the agenda, any old business before the town board? No. Hearing none, any new business before the town board? No. All right, we'll move on to the second opportunity for public participation. Anybody in the audience or online that would like to participate?
Any follow-up questions? Just quickly, make sure all of you grab an agenda off the table that is right behind Mr. Karch there on your way out, so we have a copy of that, so. All right.
Okay, looks like we have one email from a gentleman, James Boyd, and his is a comment, just read the history of the Penfield Country Fair Days.
Okay.
Sounds awesome, please bring it back. Thank you, Mr. Boyd, for that contact, or for that email. Moving on, since there's no other public participation from what I can see, I think that concludes the meeting. Anything else from the town board?
Andy, do
Yes.
you want to mention when the next meeting will be?
Yes, thank you. The next meeting of the Penfield Town Board will be on July 17th, and we will be here right in this room in the auditorium on July 17th for our town board meeting. So with that, we'd like to thank everybody again for joining us on this beautiful evening. I don't think tomorrow is going to be quite as nice as today is, but nonetheless, have a good evening, have safe travels. Good night.
Hey, Rob, you want anything?